Most players don't know how to checkmate after they get a winning position in endgame. In this video, I will cover every single checkmate there is that you can get in your endgames. I will cover 2 rooks, 2 queens, queen and king, rook and king, and 2 bishops and knight and bishop checkmate. So first of all, I'm going to teach you how to checkmate if you just have a rook and a king. So first of all, you bring your king rook here, and you will notice that we have made a little enclosure which the black king can never escape. Alright, so what we have to do as white is slowly make this enclosure smaller. It doesn't even matter what they play. Let's just say they play here. We make the enclosure smaller. Okay, they're going to go here. Now can we make the enclosure smaller? Well, the answer is no, because if you go here, we are just giving up a free rook. If we go here, the king just escapes here. So when you can't make the enclosure smaller, you just bring your king here, like bring your king near the rook. They're probably going to go here. Again, can you make the enclosure smaller? No. So what you're going to do is just play with your king. They're going to go here. Now can you make the enclosure smaller? The answer is yes, because now we made the enclosure smaller. They're going to probably go here, and now we are just going to make the enclosure smaller. They're going to go here, we are going to go here, they're going to go here. Can we make the enclosure smaller? No, just bring the king here. Now can we make the enclosure smaller? Yes, they're going to go here. And once they're stuck in the in one single rank, because our rook covers all these squares and the black king can't escape, you just have to make this enclosure even smaller. Now there we are just playing our king. They're going to go here, we make the enclosure a little bit more smaller. They're going to go here, we bring our king. The king can't escape from here because our rook covers it. They're going to go here, we are going to make the enclosure even more smaller. They're going to go here, and now it's a checkmate in 3. First of all, we are going to lay her here, they're going to go here. Now we bring our king here. The only move for the black king is this, and now we have a checkmate in 1, which is this. So all you have to do is, in checkmating with a rook and a king, is slowly make the enclosure smaller and smaller and smaller, and in the end you will have a checkmate like this. Now make sure you don't stalemate. If I were to play, let's just say they go here and they go here. If I were to play this move, making the enclosure very small, it would be a stalemate and it would be a draw. Always leave a square for the king to move. Now I'm going to teach you how to checkmate with the king and the queen. Alright? It's very similar to the rook and king, but it's kind of different. The queen can go diagonally as well as straight. So what we have to do is imagine that this queen is not a queen. Imagine this queen is a knight which can also move straight. So what you have to do is use your queen as a knight. So let's just say black goes here. We mimic a knight. They are going to go here. We already mimic a knight, so we are just going to bring our king forward. They're going to go here. We are just going to act like a knight. They're going to go here. We are going to act like a knight. They're going to go here. We are going to act like a knight. They're going to go here. Now be careful. If you go here, it will be stalemate. So don't go here. Instead, bring your king forward. They only have 2 moves. They only have 2 squares to go to. Now when you reach this position, you have a simple checkmate. Now I will teach you how to checkmate with 2 rooks. It's very simple. First, this checkmate is also known as the ladder checkmate. First, make your rooks go like this. So this rook covers all these squares and this rook covers all these squares. They're probably going to hang around here. And now you go check. They can't never enter this line, this file. They can never enter here. So they have to go in this file. We give a check again. They're going to go here. We give a check again. And now be careful. If you give a check now, they're going to take your rook. So instead, bring the rook here so that they can't attack it. And they are probably going to go here. You can't give a check again. So you're going to go here. Now they play something like this. We give a check, they go here, we give a check, they go here, and it's the same thing. If we go here, they would just take our rook. So we bring the rook here. They're going to go here, and we are going to bring our rook here, and it doesn't matter where they go now because we are simply going to deliver this checkmate. We cover all these squares here, so the king can't escape here, and we deliver check like this, and it's a checkmate. Checkmating with 2 queens is even simpler. You can just pre-move this checkmate because it just is very similar to the rook checkmate. You just have to force the king like this, and you just deliver checkmate like this. It's very similar to the rook checkmate. And now I will teach you how to checkmate the black king if you only have 2 bishops. First, you bring your bishop together so that you get this position where you make a little enclosure which the black king can't escape. And our goal right now is just to make this enclosure smaller. Can we make the enclosure smaller? No. So we bring our king. They're going to go here, we make the enclosure smaller. They're going to go here, we make the enclosure smaller. They're going to go, and now we have completely shut down the king. We cover all these squares, and the black king has only 2 squares to go to. Move your king here, and you kind of make this straight line. The only move for them is this, and now we are going to, like, you see this square right here, you block this square. The only move for the black king is this. You see this square right here, you block it with your bishop, and when they go here, you take opposition. They can go here, but you give a check. They go here, you give a check. They go here, and checkmate. Okay, so now I will teach you the toughest checkmate, that is knight and bishop. It is extremely hard, even grandmaster failed to checkmate with a knight and a bishop, but I'm going to explain it in a very simple way. What you have to do, first thing is that you have to get this key position here, where like the king is kind of here, your knight is kind of here, and your king is kind of here, and your bishop is just here. I will show you how to get this key position, but first let me show you how to checkmate the black king once you get this key position, because after you get this key position, it's very simple. So first of all, what you need to do is look at the color of this bishop. In this case, this is a light squared bishop. So what you have to do is force this king towards either this corner or either this corner. In this case, forcing the king to this corner feels more easy. So what you have to do first is that you have to block this square. So play bishop h7, blocking this square. Their only move is this, and now I'll teach you something which is known as the W maneuver of the knight, where the knight is going to go like this. Alright, so we'll start like this. Now this is where things get a little bit tough. The king can either go here or here. First, let's see what happens if the king goes here, trying to get away from this corner, because the king probably knows that we are trying to force this king towards this corner, so he doesn't want to go there. Now, first of all, I taught you about the W maneuver. You just do that. They are forced back to the square. Now you just bring your king here. They can't go here because of this knight, and our king covers all these squares. Their only move is this, and now we will bring our king here. Again, if they just go here, it's even simpler to checkmate the black king. So they will probably go here, but now you can just check and you cover all these squares, and they're forced back here. And look at this. This is the position which you had in move 1. Look at this. It's basically the same thing now. You had this position in move 1, and you have this position now. You have to do the same thing once again. So what you have to do is first play a little waiting move with your bishop. They're going to go here, and now you can do the W maneuver. Again, if they decide to go here, it's even simpler to checkmate the black king. They're probably going to just go here. You complete your W maneuver. They're probably going to come here. Now you take opposition. The only move is this, and now you just play your king here. They can go here, but you just force the king here. And look at this. You basically have the same position. You first force the king from this line to this line, and now the king is here. And now it's a checkmate in 4. So first of all, bring your knight here. They're probably going to go here, and now you have to play a little waiting move with your bishop. You're going to go here, you give this check, they're going to hide here, and you can finish off the king with like this. It's checkmate. This is what happens when the king decides to go here trying to run away this side. But what happens if instead of going here they decide to go here? Well, first of all, don't panic. You bring your king here, covering these key squares. Their only logical move is probably to go here, and now make sure you put your knight here. This is very important. You put your knight here, covering this square, and this square. All these squares are covered. Now the only two logical moves that black has here is to go here or here. Doesn't even matter where they go. Let's say they go here, we can simply bring our bishop like this and we cover all these squares. And the king can never escape here. So what they're going to do is play something like here, and now you can bring your king forward. Let's just say they play something like this. Now it's very simple. It's basically the same thing now. You first play bishop e4, just covering up this square. They're going to go here. Now you just have the same like position which I taught you earlier. You basically just shifted the king from here. It just took you a bit longer. So it's the same thing here. You just have to do the W maneuver one more time. They're probably going to go here. You do the W maneuver. If they go here, it's even similar to checkmate the black king. So they're probably going to go here. You complete your W maneuver. They're going to go here. Bring your king. Their only move is this. You bring your king even further. They will try to avoid going to the corner, but you simply just give a check and they're forced back here. And now you play a little waiting move, and it's the same position that we had earlier, and it's checkmate in 3. That's how simple it is. Now I've taught you how to checkmate the black king, but I've not taught you how to get this key position to checkmate the black king. This is important because if you don't know how to get this key position, how the hell are you going to checkmate the black king? So let me teach you that. So here I'm playing against the 3200 rated bot. So let's just play our king here. We cover all these squares so far. So I think we'll just move our bishop. Okay, I'll just move the knight. Move my king forward, a bit forward. Okay, so be careful here. If you go here, it would be stalemate. Don't make the mistake of going here. Instead, now we have forced the black king in this corner, and now it's the easy part. We have to somehow get our knight over here and our bishop over here, and the king should be here. So right now, we will just cover up this square. Alright, now we just have to bring our knight, and the king can't escape. There we go. We have brought our knight here, and now we have got the key position I was talking about. If you are tired of losing 8 games just to win 1, and you're actually serious about leveling up, I got something for you, and it's completely free. I made a 30-day chess plan ebook designed to help you gain 200 elo without frying your brain on 47 opening lines you will forget tomorrow. It's free, so you have no excuses.